What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your man, 100 grand. Ross with the Rock never stops. Oh, ah, what a game! What a game! What a game! We are going to get into it. We are going to get into it. This was not an easy game to watch. So now I had to get up and walk away probably two, three times. I got up and I just had to cook some food or something. I had to make uh do some dishes. I had to just move this energy because there was just so much going on for me in this game. And then I kind of settled into a place. I settled into a place in this game. These Pistons are just a baby learning how to walk. They are a young team just figuring it out. They're figuring themselves out. They're figuring their rotations out. Oh no, I had some feelings for JB. I had some feelings. But even I had to tell myself, coaches learn too. Coaches learn their team too. JB is still figuring it out. JB is still going with 11 guys in a rotation. That I think we all know doesn't work long term, but it's only what a few games since Ivy has been back and Tobias has been back. You're still trying to find minutes for Javante Green, apparently. You know, this is what's tough. Is like holding context. Holding context. I because man, you should have seen the first half. I I'm watching so many plays because you have to understand, like from a coaching perspective, you understand that what happens in the fourth quarter is a byproduct of what has happened throughout all three quarters. So Derek White getting hot, blazing hot in that second half was a byproduct of the open shots he was able to get in the first quarter, even if he missed it. Right? Like the lack of boxing out for rebounds and second chance opportunities that created easy looks for guys like Bayer Shireman or Walsh or, like these little plays add up. They add up. And so it's hard. It's hard. It's really hard because the more I watch this team play, the more I think I just have to accept that the players that they are going to depend upon the most have the least amount of experience in this moment. These guys have never been the hunted in the NBA. They've never been the team everyone's looking up at. They've never been in these moments in TD Garden, neck and neck, playoff atmosphere with a team who's already been to the mountaintop. They've never been here. They have no idea what this is like. The Celtics do. They've had two runs to the NBA Finals and won one. These guys know what to do. The coach knows what to do. The players know what to do. I'm choosing to take a deep breath. I'm choosing. Let me start off. Yes, and let's be clear. Two guys were getting hunted in this game. Two. Two were being hunted. Duncan Robinson and Karis LeVert. Does it remind us of anything? Does it remind us of anything? Who got hunted last year? Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley. I would say Duncan Robinson and Karis LeVert are upgrades over those two. And yet you can still hunt them. I respect JB's decision on a defensive possession to not do an offensive defensive substitution and get Isaiah Stewart in there for Jalen Duren. I respect it. I can respect it. Even though Duran gives up an and one, commits the foul. Because I get it. Duran has to figure this out too. Duran has to be allowed to be in these tough moments and fail. Remember, we talk about this, when I drop the word at the end of these, I always talk about how failure is a part of the process. Damn it if it don't feel good. If it don't feel terrible. If it isn't gut wrenching. Cade Cunningham missing this free throw. But when you're honest, it's not the free throw at the end that got you. It was the free throw at the beginning too. They're both just 1 point. This is one of those games where there's a potential for us to look back on it and say, this is where we took a lesson. Yes, I needed way more Jenkins minutes. In fact, I need Jenkins to stop deferring to Karis LeVert. I understand these are veterans out there. Stop deferring. You're better. I, you know, and I'm gonna get to a lot of these comments because there's a lot of feelings that I have right now. I'm trying to hold it as best as I can. Before we really dive into this, 24 people in here in the chat. Appreciate y'all being in here after the game to hold all these emotions. This is our community. Smash the like button for me if you can. Remember, it's a small thing for you, big thing for the channel. Really helps us out a lot to grow this space. I appreciate the community because right now I just need that community hug. I'm trying to hold it in. I'm trying to hold it in. I'm trying to hold it in. I could point to on Cade's missed free throw. How is it that Peyton Pritchard is the first one from the 3-point line to get all the way to the basket to secure that defensive rebound? Asar Thompson, you're right next to him. How does he react faster than you? But it's about a know-how. It's about an awareness that every play counts. This is what happens when you've been to the mountaintop. When you've been to the NBA Finals and every single play matters. There's not one play where you go, you know what? It's whatever. No, actually, that whatever play trickles down to the end and is the difference between a 1-point lead, a tied game, a 1-point deficit. No, Ray Floyd, Cade doesn't need help. Cade doesn't need help. That's not what Cade needs. That's not what Cade needs. Cade has to figure out a way to lead this team. He's got all the talent in the world on this team. He has all the talent in the world. And if we're honest, this can kind of be dwindled down to Boston got red hot and we went ice cold. We were missing a bunch of threes. And I mean, good looks, genuinely good looking threes. We missed a whole lot of them. And so if we're going to be missing a whole lot of threes and then Boston gets red hot, okay, you're going to lose some of these. You're going to lose some of these. But to lose it in Boston, man, to lose it in Boston. But if I'm honest with you, our offense wasn't exactly running smooth. I don't know if I can say it was a testament to Boston's defense as much as it was guys over dribbling. One of the things that I was working with my goddaughter on is just some of her handle, right? And I talked to her about, playing higher levels of basketball. And I said, one of the most taboo things to do, things that you should never really do, is as soon as you catch the ball, put it on the ground. The reason why is because in that moment, you're putting the ball on the ground. One, you're not taking that moment to read the defense. You're not looking to see the space. You're not looking to see if you're open for a shot. You're not looking to see if someone is open for the pass. You're just dribbling the ball out of habit. And while you're dribbling, the game is still going on. Seconds are still going by. People are still getting open. The play is still developing. But we dribble every single time. This was a tough loss. This was a tough loss because we could have easily also won this game. We could have won this game. One was, I'm gonna point out. Look, let me point out some of the things that I am. I do want to recognize some positives. I do want to recognize some positives. Jaden Ivey. No, I'm not gonna start there. I'm not gonna start there because I wouldn't necessarily say a positive. Um, I would say the biggest positive for me in this game had to have been Ron Holland. Ron Holland. Ivy did play great defense. You know what? That's a good point. Thank you, Jay. I'm looking for some. Y'all put in the chat your positive takeaways. Encourage me. Encourage me. Give me some good energy because right now I'm struggling for it. Ron Holland, there was a moment in that first quarter where he was guarding Jaylen Brown. He's guarding him on the left wing. Brown is driving to the basket. He's cutting him off, cutting him off. And somewhere around the fourth or fifth dribble, Jaylen Brown begins to kind of get around his hip. And before in the past, Ron Holland would have picked up a foul right here. Right in this moment, he would have picked up that foul. He would have either thrown his hip out, dropped his hands, reached, pushed, bumped with a blocking call. That's when he normally would have messed up. Today, he remained composed, focused. He was aware that he had been beaten and he was relying upon his help. His help was not there in time during, but he didn't pick up the foul. Ron Holland actually gave us great minutes in this game. Great minutes. He was under control. He was focused. He was aggressive, moving without the ball, getting out in transition, hitting the glass. He was excellent for us. I think I would have to say he had probably the best game out there. He had the best game. Now, I'll say this. Dennis Jenkins and Javonte Green. Honestly, I think they need to just go with Dennis Jenkins. They need to just go with Dennis Jenkins. Giving Dennis Jenkins 8 minutes, Javonte Green 9 minutes was like, for what? For what? Neither of them gets into a rhythm. And here's the thing, if you're going to play Dennis Jenkins, why is Karis LeVert bringing the ball up as a point guard? Jenkins, if you're in the game, you're the point. I don't want to see you get the ball and then Karis LeVert looks at you for the ball and you give him the ball back. What are you doing? What are you doing? I need you to play confidently. Don't be giving up your spot to nobody else. If you're in the game, be in the game. Be aggressive. And you were being aggressive. I'm not going to take that away. There were several drives that you had to the basket that you didn't get the shot and you didn't get the assist. But your ability to collapse the defense, kick the ball out, putting the defense in rotation led to quality looks. Javonte Green had less of an impact. The plus minus is what it is, but it's kind of misleading based upon who you're also playing with. Jaden Ivey, I think, got a little bit. I'm just going to go through the roster. I'm just going to go through the roster. And then I'm going to kind of like bring it back home to the point I made at the beginning of this live, that this is a baby team figuring itself out. This is the baby antelope figuring out its Bambi legs. It just happens to be a talented ass Bambi. Talented ass antelope. We have one of the most talented teams in the league, but our discipline, our understanding of where to be, what to do, how to do the little things at a high level, we are just not good at. We are just not. We do not do the little things. We don't have a lot of discipline. We are getting better, but we don't. We don't. We're not even 20 games into this season, but that's just the reality. I fully expect that we will continue to improve, but these are the games that hurt you. Yes, low budget gamer. Yep. Fundamentals. The fundamentals. I don't even want to sound like the old guy, but it's the fundamentals. It's the fundamentals. You have to know that Derek White is a high level 3-point shooter. If he is in a slump, your thinking as a defender should be, my job is to keep him in a slump. My job is to make sure that Derek White never gets out of his slump against me. But this is why I would never play Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson together, outside of if you're looking for a 3-point shot, like towards the end for those special plays. But here's the thing. If Karis LeVert, I'll even throw in Duncan Robinson to a degree, but hear me on this. If Karis LeVert is not knocking down shots, what is he for you? Especially if you have Cade on the floor, and Asar, and Tobias, and Duran, or Ivy. What really is Karis LeVert to you? What is his real value? Because the reality to me is I see a talented scorer who no team actually wants to make a commitment to. And there's a reason why teams don't make commitments to Karis LeVert. Because he can be a bit of feast or famine. Karis LeVert is feast or famine. Either he's knocking down his shots and it looks great and he can contribute to winning every once in a while. He can make a good pass. He's got good positional size. Okay. Kenyatta, let me say this. There's a lot of reasons why JB would play Karis LeVert that don't have anything to do with his defense. Karis LeVert has never been known as a plus defender. What we're seeing today is Karis LeVert giving maximum effort. But that foul at the end of the half, at the 3-point line, like these are the things that add up. You see, I would almost rather, if I'm honest with you, I would rather have Ron Holland, Asar Thompson, Isaiah Stewart, Dennis Jenkins, Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham taking high volume threes, whether they got terrible percentages or not. I would rather them take those threes now for the long-term outlook of developing their ability to confidently step into those shots when you need it the most coming to the playoffs, than see Karis LeVert try to take those shots now to get himself going, to try to figure out a way to contribute, knowing that those guys are going to be far more important for our long-term outlook than Karis LeVert ever will be. Yes, I definitely think Dennis Jenkins could have taken some of Cade Cunningham's third quarter minutes. He was clearly tired. He was clearly tired. I get it. We were trying to stay in the game. We're not winning it all right now. It's the end of the third quarter. We're not trying to win it all right now. I thought that was a mistake as well. He leaned a bit too heavy on Cade Cunningham. But here's the thing. You're going to have these games. The reality is this game probably dwindles down to the Detroit Pistons shooting not just 40% from the field, 30% from three, 11 of 36. And then you have Boston, shot 43, almost 44% from the field, and almost 50% from the 3 point line, 46.5% from the 3 point line. Josh Minot hit two threes. And if you remember what I said for the preview of this game, I said if I'm Boston, I'm telling my team, put up as many threes as you can. See if you can get hot. Because if you have to drive to the basket nonstop against this team, and continuously put the ball on the ground, it's going to work against you over time. This is where I was also frustrated with JB Bickerstaff because in the first half, when we had a degree of control over the game, Jaylen Brown came back into the game. You did not bring Asar Thompson back into the game to match his minutes, knowing that Asar just held him to 1 of 8 from the field before coming out the game. All of a sudden, Jaylen Brown sees no Asar Thompson. He goes to work immediately, gets himself going. That's what professional scorers do. That's what you're supposed to do. The moment that guy is out of the game, you turn it on. You turn it on. That's what you're supposed to do. But as a coach, you're supposed to say, if this guy has been given the responsibility of controlling this score to hold him in check, I've got to match the minutes. I've got to match the minutes. But at the same time, like I said, there's a lot of elements going on in this game. JB is still figuring out the rotation. He's still figuring out who is going to work best with whom. Jaden Ivey is still working his way back in. If I'm honest, I would already rather have Jaden Ivey in the starting lineup than Duncan Robinson. Already. And then off the bench, go with the Dennis Jenkins, either Duncan Robinson or Karis LeVert, Ron Holland, Isaiah Stewart, maybe Javante Green. I don't know. Or maybe Karis or Duncan, one of those, right? Figure it out. Well, what Jaden Ivey has the potential to give us in getting downhill to the rim, collapsing the defense, and then kicking the ball out to put the defense in rotation means a whole lot more than Duncan Robinson struggling. But here's the thing, a lot of what makes it tough for Duncan Robinson is when you don't have someone. I'll put it this way. Jason Kidd used to be a master of getting you the ball exactly in rhythm, in time, coming off of screens. It's why Dirk had his best seasons next to Jason Kidd. Every time he'd come off, he's open, boom, it's right there in his hands. Boom, it's right there in his hands. Boom, it's right there in his hands. Playing with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, it's right there in his hands. Cade is not that type of a point guard. Karras is definitely not that kind of a point guard. So when he's coming off, he's open and then he's waiting. And sometimes while he's waiting for the ball, Ron Holland, Cade Cunningham, even Jaden Ivey, Karis LeVert, they're still just dribbling the air out of the ball, figuring out if they are going to pass in the ball or attack the basket. They don't have that chemistry yet. They just don't. They just don't. And it's tough. It's tough. Because you want to see Duncan continue to stay hot. He didn't have a bad game. He just didn't have the game we were needing. By what we lost by, shooting 3 of 8 from the 3-point line, if he makes one more, we're in a different position. He makes 2, we're in a different position. If Cade makes the free throw, we're in a different position. But then when you look at our free throw shooting this game, Asar, okay, you hit 3 of 4, good job. Tobias, 3 of 3. Duran, 4 of 6. Cade, 14 of 16. Isaiah Stewart, 0 for 2. Karis LeVert and Ivy made their free throws. Shot 80%. That's not bad. But you missed 1, 3, 5. 7. You missed 7 free throws. That's the game. Right? Like some of this stuff, and this is why by the time you get to the end of the game, it's a byproduct of everything you did the first 3 quarters leading into the fourth quarter. It's a byproduct of what you've been doing throughout practices, throughout the season up to this point, the box outs, second chance opportunities, the lack of closeouts, the lack of communication. There was times Karis LeVert lost his man right under the basket for a wide open dunk. He lost Jordan Walsh. No box out on the rebound. Losing track of your guy. Somehow he's out there on a defensive possession to close out the first half against Peyton Pritchard. Maybe you're thinking Karras is 6'7". Peyton Pritchard is 6'1" on a good day. Apparently it didn't make a difference. I keep telling you guys, Karis LeVert's not a good defender. I've been told you guys, our good defenders, meaning plus defenders, better than average. Stu, Asar. Those are high level, A++. Then you got Javante. Then you got Paul Reed. And then I would say Dennis Jenkins. That's 5+ defenders, better than average defenders. Their ability to move their feet, not play with their hands, not pick up cheap fouls, get deflections, get rebounds, challenge shots without fouling, communication on the defensive back end, rotating. They have a degree of versatility, toughness, physicality, speed. Those guys got it. Those 5 got it. Then there's 2 guys that I trust on defense. They may not make all the big plays, but they're always in the right position. That's Tobias Harris and Duncan Robinson. They're in the right place. They are aware mentally of where to be. And then you begin to look at the rest of the team, who I would say at best are average defenders. That's Cade. That's Ivy. That's Chaz Lanier. And then you have your below average defenders. Below average. Guys who can be taken advantage of. And that's Jalen Duren. That's Karis LeVert. These are guys who are often out of position. Often not in a stance. Ron Holland gives great defense. He kind of swings on this pendulum. Great effort, positional size, athleticism. He locks and he's got the dog. He just doesn't have the up here. But he's getting there because if you notice, I said there was a play where he normally gets called for a foul. He didn't this time. He chose different. Even though Jaylen Brown scored the layup, it was tough. It was hard to get that shot. Gary was good in the chat. Orlando will be tougher. You're right. Orlando's going to be a lot tougher. Orlando is playing some really good basketball right now. This team cannot be a team that's constantly waiting around for Cade Cunningham to save them. Jalen Duren, you have to have the ability to seal your man on the block, get control of the ball, and execute a post move. There's no way you should be guarded by Derek White in the fourth quarter, crunch time. We need a bucket. We go to you. You take a dribble. It gets stripped, knocked away, and we can't even get a shot off from you. This was a really rough game for Jalen Duren. Shot 4 of 10 from the field, 40%, 4 of 6 from the free throw line, had 16 rebounds, which you would think is great. Is great. But there were countless other plays where he forgot to box out. That led to offensive rebounds. There were free throws he wasn't boxing out on. We are a young team. and we show it on these nights. That a lesser team, a lesser talented team that just plays with more know-how can beat us. And even then, we had an opportunity to win. So I think it's a constant reminder. We are a lot better than what I'm not even gonna say better than. We are really talented, and I'm gonna leave it at that. We are really talented. Let me know. Let me read some of these comments because I'm having a hard time staying cool about this. I hate to lose. I hate to lose. I hate losing. I hate losing. I hate losing. I hate losing at chess. I hate losing at Jenga. I hate losing at Uno, spades, dominoes, or bones. I hate losing at backgammon. I hate losing at tic tac toe. I hate losing at Rochambeau, rock, paper, scissors. I don't want to lose at badminton. I don't want to lose a race to my nephew who's 10. I don't want to lose at a push up competition, arm wrestling. I hate losing. So this is hard for me. This is hard. This is hard for me. GT's as entertainment. I appreciate you. OKC loses tonight. You'll feel better. I won't. I won't. I'm gonna watch something else after this. If I don't rewatch the game, I don't want to rewatch the game. I shouldn't rewatch the game. I should let it go. I should let it go. I should move on. We've got another 60 something games to go of the season. I can't get hung up on game number 17 or 18. I can't. I can't. Y'all help me. Y'all help me. Help me, please. Let me get to some of these comments. Shaw cardboard treasures in the house. I appreciate you, brother. We won't lose again to Boston. Sometimes you learn from your mistakes. Even JB will learn. I think so too. I think so too. If we had matched up Asar Thompson's minutes to Jalen Brown, I think Jalen Brown has the worst game of his season. I was going to say life, but season. And he never gets off the way he did. Michael Porter Jr. will be no low budget gamer. Michael Porter Jr. is a 6'10" Karis LeVert. He's a black hole with limited playmaking, does little else when he's not scoring. And especially when he's not scoring, he's just a net negative many times. Gary, you're right. 14 would have been, you know, because it's also the pressure. It's also the pressure. You have to understand, every time the Detroit Pistons have won 13 games, we've won a championship. I think we won the championship in 89-90. It was either that year or the previous year, but then we won it back to back, didn't we? And then for sure we won it the last time we won 13 in a row. That's with Big Ben and the squad. So maybe there's a lot of pressure that they're feeling. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, as much as people want to pretend like, oh yeah, we're on our way, people counting us out, man. There's nobody on this team, on these Pistons, see 12 in a row, 13 in a row coming, let alone 14. Ain't none of them seen it. Not everybody's ready for that moment. We sure as hell are not ready because we're not winning based upon our ability to go out and say we're going to execute our game and that's how we win. We're not executing in many ways. We're not. We have no idea who's going to go off from game to game to game. We can't pencil in nothing. This was a game Jalen Duren should have been either high score, 20 plus points, dominating offensively, or he should have had high assists by drawing so much attention from the defense. And he had neither. He had 12 points, one assist. Yeah, this was really tough. This was really tough. But you know what? What is it? Game number 63. I'm sorry, not 63. We got 63 more games to go. This is game number what? Now, three losses. We're 15-3. Game number 18. Shouldn't get caught up in it right now. I shouldn't, but I kind of am. I just hate losing. Dwayne Pritchett, we're not that great of a team. Better defensive players can't score, and our scorers can't play defense. A lot of teams end up being that way. I don't like the offensive sets JB draws up. I agree. Some of our best offensive players don't play defense. Some of our best defensive players aren't good on offense. But if we're going to say that we're going to hang our hat on defense, then that's what we should be doing. Which means Karis LeVert, if you're not hot, should not be in the game closing. Dennis Jenkins already hit big games, big shots at the end of games for you. And then in overtime. Why don't we trust him? Karis LeVert was not having a good game. I get they're your veterans. You lean on your veterans. JB Bickerstaff continues to do that. He's done it even last year. I criticized it last year. Now I'm just accepting it. There's many ways to get to a goal. There's many paths, and he's chosen his. That he's going to lean into these veterans. If I was, and I put this out there earlier, and you all let me know what you think, because I said I would trade Karis LeVert and a first round draft pick for PJ Washington. They're trying to give us Anthony Davis. No, I'm all right. But if you tell me Karis LeVert and a first round pick this summer, which on the trajectory that we're on, probably going to be definitely out of the lottery and probably low 20s. I'd do it for PJ Washington, 27, 28 years old, just got re signed to an extension. He's going to be making low 20s. I would do it. He's definitely Detroit basketball. His physicality, his shooting, his play off the bounce. I would do it. I would do it. You see, there's something about bringing guys in who match the culture, who play defense. If you're going to be a defensive minded team, you need guys who naturally play defense. Not that you have to convince to give effort. That shouldn't be the conversation. PJ Washington, I would love to have out there on the court. But there's so many things, there's so much meat that the Detroit Pistons leave on the bone. Where was Isaiah Stewart's three-point shooting? I say it over and over and over again. He didn't even attempt a three-point shot this game. And he had 7 attempts. He continues to catch the ball in the paint, in traffic. Boston collapsing. And next thing you know, it's a turnover. We had how many turnovers tonight? 13 turnovers. I almost thought it would have been more. That's actually not too bad. Cade had 4 turnovers. It is tough to watch a team with so much potential, but they're young. They're young. They're young. They're going to have to continue to watch game film. They experienced today, I would say the last couple of games. Indiana did it too, but maybe not with the same level of defensive IQ personnel of what it looks like to be swarmed on the interior. Every single time the ball got into the interior, they collapsed, and as soon as it got kicked back out, they expanded. Every single time. That's textbook defense. Textbook. Textbook. Collapse and expand. Collapse and expand. They move with the ball, not after the ball. They see the ball being passed. They are sprinting and moving on the pass. And then the moment it's kicked back out, they extend out. The moment our bigs put the ball on the floor, they don't realize every single time they're going to get a guard digging down at the ball. So what are you supposed to do? Come on, class. If you're a big man, you're in the post. You know the opposing team is going to make a play on the ball as soon as you dribble it. What are you supposed to do? Anybody know? Raise your hand. What are you supposed to do? You're in the post. You get the ball in the post. First thing you're supposed to do is what? Put two hands on the ball. Squeeze it, right? Squeeze the ball. Kick it out. No, not yet. Not yet. Because then you're bailing that defense out. What do? If you're a big man, you get past the ball into the paint, and you know the defense is about to collapse. Yes, you can go straight up for the shot. You go straight up over the top, no dribble, catch, jump hook, turn, shoot over the top, maybe a little short fade from 8 feet out. If you got somebody small like Derek White, you just keep the ball high. Nikola Jokic does this all the time. He just keeps it high, shoots it right over the top. You ball fake. You ball fake your pass back out to the perimeter. Go watch Shaq. Go watch Dream, Robinson, Duncan, all those great bigs. As soon as they get the ball in the post, they slap the ball with two hands, squeeze it. They let their man and everyone else in the building know they've got the ball. It's not coming out. It's not going anywhere. You try to grab this ball, you're going to catch some of this shoulder, forearm, and elbow. And then they look over their shoulder. When you look over the shoulder at the defense, it freezes the defense. They're coming to help. You look at them and they go, oh, and they freeze. Then you ball fake back out to the perimeter to their man. What this does is it reminds them that you see, as a person with the ball, that they have the ability to pass to their guy on the perimeter. So what do they now have to do? They have to play honest. They can't just dive down and time it. They now have to take a step back towards their man to make sure that they're in position in case you do kick it out. This also is a recognition for you as the post player of who's open and who's not. What defenders look like they're about to help. If I take a dribble with my right hand towards the middle, who's likely to help? Who's the closest defender? If I go to my left, who's the closest defender? Yeah, Karis LeVert with 24 minutes, shooting 3 of 8, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He was a -5 on the night. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see long term his value on this team. Namely because as we shorten up our lineup, as we shore it up, let's say for like a playoff push, you have Ivy out there playing 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 32 minutes. Cade out there playing, Asar out there playing, Duran out there playing, Tobias out there playing. What is the role for Karis LeVert? It would be a 3 and D. But is he a better 3 and D player than Duncan Robinson? No. Is he a better 3 and D player than Dennis Jenkins? No. How many shots is he really going to get? So how valuable is he really? That's why in these moments I'm like, what are we investing in this for? But I understand at the same time, if you're going to make a trade, which I would be totally, man, if you can get PJ Washington and throw in a first round draft pick, that's a deal, bro. That's a deal. That's a deal. All this to say is I'm thinking playoffs. But once again, I have to keep reminding myself, relax. It's 18 games in. 18 games in. Losing sucks. No, Herb Jones is not who we need. Resball, I I love Herb Jones the player. For us, what is the role that he plays? 3 and D. 3 and D. Think about it. Think about it. Coming off the bench as a 3 and D player, are we playing him over Cade, Ivy, Asar, potentially Duran, maybe Stu, Tobias? I don't know. Over Asar? So you would rather develop Herb Jones than Asar? Yes, no free throws. I get you. Herb Jones is far more of the finished product. Remember, Herb Jones is what, 26, 24 years old? How old is he? I'll look it up right now. He's 27 years old. He's 27. Asar is 22. By the time Asar Thompson is 27 years old, 5 years from now, he's going to be 5 times better than Herb Jones. Period. He just is. He just is. Yeah, you know what? I get I get you on we need a polished this team is young. I keep coming back to that. I keep coming back to that. For the first time, we have our full accompaniment of players. No, Malik Beasley is not going to enter this frame at all. At all. At all. We have too many guys. We have too many guys. We need for December to play out, Ivy to get back up to his minutes, back into the starting lineup. And then we can look at our actual rotation. When Cade, Ivy, Asar, Duran are playing their actual minutes that they will be playing throughout the season for the future of this team. What does it look like? Because one thing that I have recognized when Cade and Ivy play together, they they don't have great chemistry. They're just a perfect pair, if that makes sense. They don't have great chemistry as much as they're a perfect pair. Remember when almost like Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, fire and ice, right? One of them was a silky smooth shooter, perimeter player, and the other one was this head down demon, get to the rim. That's Cade and Ivy. Those turnovers that Cade is getting lost into, trying to do too much and carry the whole offense, a lot of that is where Ivy would have stepped up and stepped in and said, give me the ball. And said, give me the ball. I don't even think Tobias gets traded. And shout out to Resball. Resball has a great channel. Resball TV has some great stuff. Check out the content for sure. For sure. Right now, I would love for us to get a PJ Washington because I think our front court needs more maturity, more reliability. Duran and Stewart are not reliable. Talented, not reliable. Right? They give great effort. They're physical. They're tough. Not dependable. I don't know what I'm getting from them from night to night. And I get it. Defenses are learning how to play them. They're playing them in different ways with different schemes. But let's not pretend like either of them has this extremely high IQ in the first place when it comes to playing the game. I'm not talking about if they're just smart, intelligent beings. They're smart, intelligent beings, right? I don't want to undermine their intelligence at all. What I'm saying is the experience and the awareness of playing the game of basketball at a high level. At a high level. Neither of them does. Both of them get goaded into bad fouls, being too physical, being out of position defensively, pump fakes, bad closeouts on threes, a lack of anticipation. Look, Nikola Jokic is less athletic than both of them, and he figures out a way to be in the right spot at the right time. He'll make sure he closes out well and doesn't foul the three-point shooter. We still foul three-point shooters. Something like that is supposed to happen 1 in a million. Once every 3, 4, 5 games. We're doing it regularly. We're either giving up wide open threes or we're running into the shooter, running into their landing zone. I would love PJ Washington because he has a high IQ in terms of reading the game, being in position. He's also a communicator. He talks. He plays with toughness and that edge, but it's still under control. He has that defensive versatility. He can guard multiple positions. Yeah, you know what, Jay? I'm not even gonna mention that coach's name when it comes to JB Bickerstaff. I understand this is a good problem, but it's a problem. It's a hard problem to manage having so many guys that deserve playing time. For me, I would have chosen Javante Green, Dennis Jenkins, Ron Holland, and Isaiah Stewart off the bench first. I would have said, let's see if that unit can come in the game, speed up the game, apply a lot of defensive pressure, and wear out starters who stay in the game against them and look to get out in transition. And I trust that Dennis Jenkins can get us into offense, create for himself, and do some playmaking, which he's shown the ability to do. Ron Holland moving well without the ball. Javante Green moving well. Remember, we already know what these guys can do. We know what this group can do. It's not a unknown. Our bench can go to a defensive unit and be a plus. We know that. It's proven. I want to see JB Bigstaff lean into that, but I also understand Trajan Langdon just signed Karis LeVert, signed him to his deal. He's got 2 years, I believe, locked in. Yes, as a lot of people are saying, he's probably trade bait. He's probably trade bait for somebody like a PJ Washington. So you've got to play him in order to keep up his value. At the same time, you're trying to win games. So there is a challenge for JB Bigstaff. And this is why I say, like, when you're evaluating a coach, you have to understand there's so many layers to it. There's so many layers to it. It's not easy to figure out these minutes, who's playing well, who's not. To be honest, sometimes you have to go to guys like Dennis Jenkins and be like, look, man, you've proven yourself. You deserve way more minutes than you're about to get. But the politics, the organizational management, the roster construction, the the pecking order of veteranship on this team, you are not going to get the minutes that you deserve. That's the reality. I just ask that you stay ready. When you're in the game, ball out. But here's the thing I got to say to Dennis Jenkins. I don't want to see you giving up the ball to Karis LeVert to initiate the offense. When you get the ball, you are the point guard. You're the best point guard on the team. I don't care what anybody says. Cade Cunningham is not really a point guard. He's like Luka. He's not really a point guard. He could just make a lot of good passes. He can create for himself and others at a high level. He can play make at a high level, but he's not a point guard. He doesn't see the floor like that. He's not seeing each of his guys who needs to get the ball. If you watch Cade play the game, he's not sitting there going, how do I manage and manipulate this offense, this defense? He's not processing like that. He's just looking to make a play. And he has so much skill and versatility that he's able to get 11 assists. Okay, we've got that. But here's the thing. Let's also be real. Ain't nobody been checking for Cade until this season. Let's really be honest. Let's really be honest. Can we be honest? Can we look, huddle up. We just talk amongst us. We just talk amongst us. Till this season, ain't nobody really been checking for Cade Cunningham like that. Yeah, he made the All-Star game last year, but nobody was really looking at the Pistons, Cade Cunningham like that. They were looking at him like, all right, Cade might have a good game, but the rest of the team, they're gonna beat themselves. We should be able to beat them. We just so happen to have more talent than they realized, and then we ended up beating them, and they're like, oh shoot, we didn't see that coming. This year, now we're 15-2, now 15-3, and teams are like, who are these dudes? Wait, let me look at this scouting report again. What is Cade Cunningham known for? Trying to dribble in traffic? When he got the ball knocked away and it went off of him? Hey, JB Bickerstaff, maybe have Cade remain in space. Don't try to have Duncan Robinson do that drag ghost screen coming across because you know who's guarding him? Derek White. I don't want Derek White anywhere near Cade Cunningham. I don't want Derek White anywhere near Cade Cunningham. When Cade got that ball with the clock running down, what I wanted to see was a clear out. Clear the freak out. And this is how you can tell some teams are or are not locked in. And even at times, Cade is not locked in. You got guys bringing better defenders to try to get a switch on a drag screen for Cade Cunningham. Cade has the ball. You're trying to set this on ball screen, and you're bringing a better defender to Cade. It's a waste of time, bro. It's a waste of time. Because you know what Cade is going to have to do? Screen back to go and get the original guy back on him. Makes no sense, bro. Cade Cunningham, you got to know how to get to your spots and you have to be able to recognize who's on the court. You have to. You got to know that Derek White is going to make a play for this ball. You've got to know. You can't go back behind the back and he's in arm's length distance of the ball. You can't keep taking these chances. And you've been doing it now for the last 3-4 years. This has been you. You're going to dribble into traffic. You know, one of the things that I remember when I was developing athletes is I said, attacking gaps is just as impactful as attacking the rim. Learning how to score in the gaps is just as important as being able to score at the rim. You don't always need to get all the way to the rim. Sometimes it's better for you to get to a quality shot. And this is what I loved about Marcus Sasser. Marcus Sasser understood getting into the gaps because he's smaller. He's like 6'2". So he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to attack the gap where I can get off a shot that I know I can make at a high level. He gets the gaps all over the court. And every time he gets his shot off, it looks like it's going in. Now, we'll say, shout out, there were a couple possessions. We went to Tobias Harris. But in those possessions, it was after a timeout. And JB Bickerstaff had to draw up a play and say, let's get the ball to Tobias Harris. But you see, that's something that our point guard is supposed to know and see. Wait, they got a guard on Tobias Harris? I don't care if it's Hugo Gonzalez. I don't care if it's Shireman, Hauser. Tobias Harris can score against just about anybody smaller than him. Tobias Harris gets stopped when he's up against another athletic 6'8", 6'9", long defender or taller. That's where he has a hard time. Unless it's a center, and then he has his move to take him off the dribble. Other than that, he's barbecue chickening just about everybody else. If you notice the mismatch, you have to figure out a way to get the ball to the guy. But here's the difference between somebody like Tobias Harris and Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren. If you throw the ball to Tobias Harris, he seals his man. It's a guarantee. You throw this ball to me, my guy's not getting it. I'm going to get the ball. I'm going to squeeze. I'm going to look over my shoulder, freeze the defender. I'm going to ball fake, see if he moves or not. Then I'm going to take a dribble towards my shot. If I see that defender coming down, I'm going to kick it out to the strong side. And then I'm going to repost and get it right back. Right? These are like fundamentals of posting up. These are fundamentals. These are basics. Duran still hasn't figured it out. Stu still hasn't figured it out. Asar still hasn't figured it out. Asar is so helter-skelter, man. He drives me crazy. In the best ways and the worst ways, bro. Drives to the basket, gets all the way downhill to the rim. He's 8 feet away. He pump fakes, and then all of a sudden he forgets his defender is only 6'3", 6'4". He totally forgets he can just rise up and shoot over the top in one fluid motion. I'm 5 to 8 feet out from the basket. The clock is running down. Just shoot over the top. Just go ahead and shoot over the top. But he doesn't do it. And then he pump fakes, and then he leans into his defender for a harder shot that gets broken up. It's tough to watch. It's just tough. This is a baby team. First year with any type of expectations. First year where people are looking at them going, oh, let's make sure we read the scouting report. Let's make sure we have a game plan for them. Yeah, I completely agree. Charles Butler. Asar should have the mindset of 15 points per game. Cleanmaker, he says, we got the squad to play disciplined defense, but can we stop complaining to the refs? I think we've gotten better at that. Throwing your hands up on a busted play gives the other team a head start in transition. We've gotten better at that. But that's only to say that we were egregious at that before. We were absolutely egregious at that before. We were terrible at that. Ron Holland has gotten better. Duran has gotten a little bit better. Stu, Cade, Asar, stop crying to the refs. You ain't done yet. You ain't done nothing yet. Okay, Cade, all NBA, all-star. Okay. It's the first year with some expectations. It's the first year where people are checking for you. What are you going to do now? You know what you've done now? This is going to sound mean, but you got to take it to the heart, Cade. You know what you are now? Great score. And in crunch time, when your team needed it, you're a missed free throw. It's going to be, it sounds harsh. It sounds harsh. But Cade, you know this. When you were hooping in the high school circuit and you're looking at one another, you're looking at the guys you're playing alongside of. What do you do? What do you do when all the lights are on you? And we put the ball in your hands. What do you do? What do you do? That's when everybody's grading you. That's when people are looking at you. That's when people are like, hang on, okay, what you really got? This is what it means to be an MVP. This is what it means to be an MVP. This is where you are evaluated. This is where SGA is evaluated. This was where Nikola Jokic was evaluated. This was where the Joel Embiids, the Jason Tatums, the LeBron Jameses, Anthony Edwards. This is where greatness is measured. How do you close out these games? You're a missed free throw and a mishandle. If you were LeBron James, you would be dragged tomorrow morning. It's going to sound harsh. I know. Sounds harsh. I'm old enough to remember the stars that people like to drag because you're really him. If that's where you're trying to get to, that has to be your measuring rod. How do I execute in these moments? Because I'm responsible. I'm responsible for this. JB Bickerstaff, you got to get him better help. Karis LeVert should not have been in the game with him. Should have been Dennis Jenkins. And it was a nationally televised game for the NBA Cup. Right? Boston was all the way up for this game. They were all the way up for this game. These are the moments that we haven't been in before. We're still just a baby team figuring it out. Let's be real. That's all I can do here. Jalen Duren, you laid an egg. You came up short. Only 12 points. You had a G League big man who was in college last year containing you to 12 points. 4 of 10. Now, I know it was a group effort. Every time you dribbled the ball, everybody collapsed down on you. That's why I said you should have had like 10 assists in this game. If they're going to do that, you should have been ball faking, timing it, looking over your shoulder, seeing the pass, reading the floor. This was the game where you said, I can take being a focal point of my team's offense and make plays. Give me the ball. You can trust me to make plays. You didn't. You didn't make the plays. You had 3 turnovers. These are the games that we got to learn from. Now, I keep saying with all of that, we still had a chance to win this game. Boston shot 46%? 46.5% from the 3-point line? Over half. No, I'm sorry. Wow, 43 of their 87 shot attempts were threes. We should have known Boston was going to play this game. We should have known that Boston was going to play this game. Because they don't have the interior players. Right? They don't have guys they could just drop the ball into. They really don't have great finishers outside of Jaylen Brown. They were going to have to get up a lot of threes, which meant we should have been prepared. And I think we were scheme-wise. Scheme-wise, I think we were prepared to play high-level perimeter defense. We were switching a lot. We were communicating in that first half. The only problem was we just had a lot of bad fouls that we gave up to Jaylen Brown and let him get to the free throw line despite shooting 1 of 8. Asar Thompson holds him to 1 of 8. And then he still gets to the free throw line. But that's what good teams are going to do. Jaylen Brown knows it's a moment. Just like Davion Mitchell. When he sees Cade Cunningham, he goes, "Oh, this is the All NBA. This is the MVP candidate." You know how I solidify myself? I outplay him and I get the W, especially if it's at home. I go out and outplay the guy that you all are saying is the guy. That's what this is about. We beat you and I outplay you. Jaylen Brown made the plays. Yeah, we're definitely still waiting for Asar and Ivy to develop. Asar did a lot better defensively. I need more consistency offensively. No, we did not close out on threes, especially after that first quarter. We just I think guys thought that effort to close out is the same as closing out. Trying to do something is not doing something. There's a big difference between trying to do something and doing something. You have to see your man in the ball. You have to move with the ball. The moment that ball is passed, you should be sprinting in rotation so that by the time your guy catches the ball, you're already there. That's a closeout. When you stop them from being able to shoot the ball. Philosophy. Yep, that is a great question. How long is Ivy going to be on minutes restriction? I really hope it ends soon. I get it. He hasn't played in a year, so we have to be patient. And I keep saying to y'all, that's really hard for me. I don't want to be that patient. I don't feel patient at all. I want to win every single game. Every single game I don't win. Yes, Big At, yeah, you're right. This is a teaching moment. This is a teaching moment. We wanted Jaden Ivey in this game. I wanted Jaden Ivey in this game. And then when he came out, and I was like, why is Levert in instead of Jaden Ivey? And I went, oh, snap. He's still on the minutes restriction. He hasn't played in a year. That's right. Dang it. And I got to deal with it. I got to deal with it. I got to deal with it. I didn't want to. But I had to. I had to accept it. I still want Dennis Jenkins out there. I keep telling you, our best eight is Cade, Ivy, Asar, Tobias, Duran, Stewart, Dennis, and Ivy. And then probably Ron. And then after Ron, choosing between Javonte Green and Karis LeVert, depending upon the situation and the rotation. That's my rotation. But once again, you can't get there overnight. You can't all of a sudden have someone come back and say, all right, you who've been playing all these minutes and this major role, we just signed you. Now you're going to go to the bench. You can't do that for another young guy behind him. You just can't. You can't do that for another young guy behind. It's just etiquette. And it sucks. It's the reality. It's the reality. I do think by the end of December, it will have happened, though. By the end of December, Dennis Jenkins will have supplanted Karis LeVert in the rotation. And if I'm honest with you, he probably should also overcome Ron Holland in the rotation. He does more of what we need. Table setting, get us into our offensive sets, right? Facilitation, point of attack defense, talking on defense. I don't know if y'all peeped. There was a defensive transition play. Dennis Jenkins noticed that Ivy was closer to the guy that he was supposed to be guarding. So as he's running down court, he's yelling to Ivy, you pick up him, I've got yours. He's communicating. How many guys on this team do you see communicating on defense? Now, I'm sure there's probably a little bit of talking, calling out screens, left, 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 right, 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 stuff like that. I got you, go, go. But I'm talking about full out talking, communicating, getting guys in position, in place. When Karis LeVert's guy was wide open under the rim, that was a situation where Ivy and Karis had kind of switched for a moment, and then Ivy switched back, but neither of them communicated. So then both of them went up to follow Ivy's man, and Karis LeVert's man was underneath the basket. But see, you should not lose track of who your man is in the first place. And if you have switched onto someone, you should still see your man. And if the guy who was initially on him, begins to switch back, you should notice that too. It's about awareness and communication. Neither of them communicated. But here's the thing: when you have guys who give great effort, who desire to play better defense, and you put them around great defenders, their great defense rubs off on them. Playing Jaden Ivey around Asara Thompson, playing Cade Cunningham around Javonte Green, it rubs off on them. Around Dennis Jenkins, it rubs off on them. They begin to learn to do the things that they do to be successful on defense. And they're giving instructions to guys who are willing and able to do what needs to be done. It's like someone is helping you cook. And the difference is, if you're a good cook, if you're the good defender, and you're communicating to somebody who has cooking experience and likes to cook, there's a big difference between giving instructions to someone who's never cooked before or who doesn't cook. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. But like anything, nothing worth having comes easy. And this will probably be my word for the day as I get off. Nothing worth having comes easy. And many times, the longer it takes to develop, the better it tastes in the end. This is a long season. We're 18 games in. We're 15-3. Off to a great start. We have a lot of potential. We have a lot of talent. We got to give it time. Whew. But I know y'all feel me. We want to win right now. Championships aren't won in one day. There's nothing in life that we're really pursuing that's worth having that happens in one day. It takes time. Let it cook. And the theme of the seasons, let it cook. Let them greens simmer. Don't go playing with it, putting extra stuff in it. Look, you already put everything in it that's supposed to. Look, you got the onions, you got your garlic in there, you got your vinegar. If you, I do apple cider instead of just white vinegar, but you got your vinegar in there. You got your seasonings. I ain't gonna tell you all my special seasonings when I make my greens. But once you get the seasonings in there, you got your greens chopped just right, and you put it in there, and you put the top on, and you turn it down so it can simmer just right, and you see it. It's just got that just right simmer where it's like it's like a low boil to like a simmer, and it's just doing its thing. Don't touch that lid. Let it cook. Let it cook. You're gonna get the aroma. Right now, we've been getting the aroma, and we've been getting a little anxious. Maybe it's just me getting a little anxious. It smells good. 15-2. I'm out there looking at the pot like, is it almost? Don't touch it. Just let it cook. The month of December is going to tell us a lot about this team. A lot about this team. But we got to let it cook. Let's try not to get over anxious. I'm going to try not to get over anxious. Y'all pray for me. But as always, I appreciate everybody for being in this chat. If you haven't already, smash the like button for me. Remember, it's a little thing for you, but it's a big thing for the channel. It really makes a huge difference. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Share this live. I'm going to try to be live. You guys keep asking me to get a set time to go live. It's probably going to be 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to put it in my phone to do a consistent lives in the morning. That's when it probably is going to be. So I'm going to go live tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 Eastern Standard Time. So y'all can catch me then. Definitely appreciate all the love. Appreciate the super chats. Shoot, I forgot to get to one of the super chats. Doug McMenamin, as always, broken record, shoot the mid range shot for Tobias. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's 100%. It's feels like almost a broken record. There's just yeah, man. There's so much. There's so much. I love this team. I love where we're going. Let it cook. Let's be patient. Got a whole month of December. Let's be patient. Let's see how this plays out. And I'm gonna get at y'all tomorrow morning.